Hi everyone, before I start the review, let's have something positive, because I'm going to warn you right now, it's going downhill from here on in. Go check this out. This video is by a channel called Flower Productions. It's a bunch of kids. I bet they all, I'm 21, you twat. Look, I'm old. You're all kids to me. A bunch of kids doing a great skit on Chris Chibnall and him putting together the first season of Doctor Who and such. And it's good laugh. It's about 15 minutes long, and it's well written. And there's a lot of heart and soul put into this. And I thought it was very funny and very entertaining to watch. So go check them out. Go support them. Give them a like. Give them a thumb up. Spread it around the place. Let's get some more eyes on this because it thoroughly deserves it. Now I'm going to moan for 25 minutes. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I just watched Doctor Who. It was massively shit. Oh boy. Right, a few things I want to start off with. I want to start off with a statement. First statement is going to be, Murray Gold, I miss you. I miss you so much because the music and the atmosphere and the ambience that you brought to the show was incredible. I don't know who's taken over, but the shit. And there is no atmosphere whatsoever. It's awful. Number two, I have a joke for you. Chris Chibnall walks into his butcher's and he says, "Hello, butcher, can I have some ham?" And the butcher says, "Would you like some ham slices, sir? Or would you like a ham joint?" And he said, "Do you have any ham fists?" And he says, "Sorry, sir, we don't do ham fists." And Chibnall says, "Oh, I ham fist all the time." Third thing I'd like to say is mental health, yeah. Ooh, mental health, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah. It's like not subtle remotely, it's a thing. You should talk about it. Yeah. You should talk. Talk, yeah. Talk. It's a thing. Talk. Do you have any ham fists? Ah, fuck this show. This, right, do you know what was the most annoying thing about this week's episode of Dr. Absolute Fucking Shit? Was the fact that, oh boy. Was the fact that there was some good ideas in this episode. Like, I could see on paper, with the broad overview of this episode, that I could read that and go, oh, this sounds rather interesting. And then it gets Chibnalled. You know when you've been Chibnalled, because everything turns to shit and woke. And then you can just see Chibnall getting his big sausage fingers onto it. Lots of fingering this week, by the way. Not in a sexual way, just lots of fingering. You just see Chibnall getting his hands on it going, oh yeah, well I tell you what. Oh, why don't we start it off in Syria? In 1380, yeah, and just have a bunch of like whammons talking about mental health. Yeah, I think that's a very powerful message for women, and I think it's a very powerful message against Christianity, and I think it's a very powerful message for mental health. So I think that'll go in there, and you can see the person who wrote it going, "Oh, well, it's not. This is no. I mean, the idea is two gods in space, not in Syria. They're two gods in space, but we don't know that one of them is actually trapped. We think that they're a good. I'm going through your story and I'm twisting it how I think it should be. Then we'll have your two gods, but the male god, the white man god, is vastly inferior to the black female god, which I think is a really good message for, again, female empowerment, and also displays once again the toxicity of white males. Am I right? He should know his place, like I know my place, which is a massive cuck, being in the shadow of everyone and being fearful of not just my colour and gender, but also of other men that display any sort of masculine prowess whatsoever. And so you can just see the writer just like, this is not quite the idea that I had for this episode at all. And then Chibs is like, hold on, I think I've got another good idea. Let's just put a load of fucking garbage actors into the show that can't act, can't display any emotion, can't pull any empathy out of you whatsoever, and have these messages given to them. And so, when it's their time to dream and have nightmares, and we're discovering little bits about them, you won't give a flying fuck. Because they're fucking awful! I hate this iteration of Doctor Who so much. I hate it. Oh, and then Chibnall has one final thing, and the writer is already like in tears. He's already in tears. Whoever they were, just knowing that their story about two gods and one of, they're just in tears. And then Chibnall just says, "Oh, you know where the Doctor's in peril. You know the Doctor's in peril, and they're imprisoned by these dream gods that can work their way into the nightmares. I'm just going to have the Doctor bang her sonic screwdriver, which she will use all the time in this to fix everything. She'll just wiggle it about like fucking Harry Potter. Oh no, sorry. What's the woman called in Harry Potter? I don't do Harry Potter, folks. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to stay here in awkward silence until I remember their name. I don't care how long it's going to take. I might play some music if it gets on a bit. There's Harry. There's Hermione. Yeah, it's just wiggling a magic wand, wiggling a sonic screwdriver like fucking Hermione. This is thou. I've just done a thing. I've done a thing. But they have the Doctor trapped like this. Yeah, and then she bangs her coat, and then the sonic screwdriver hits the wall and somehow manages to fly up into her hand so she can go, whew! Because that's how gravity works. And that's also, coincidentally, how bad writing works as well. Because, don't know about you, but I can't think of anything clever how to get out of this. No, can't have the Doctor actually get involved in the nightmare and overcome the nightmare, and by overcoming the nightmare short-circuit the machine or anything like that. No, we'll just have a bang. Here, I've got a pair of scissors here. I'm gonna bang it. I'm gonna see if it comes up into my hand. It fell on the floor. Okay, oh well. Alright, so we start off, now that I've got that out of the way, in Syria in 1318. She's like, "Hi, I'm a Syrian woman and I have mental health problems." And she's like, "Great, because you're a strong woman and this is a hospital that deals with mental health problems, because in Syria in 1830, they were very progressive when it came to mental health. Didn't you know that? Oh, are you a piece of shit? Oh, I thought so. You must be a piece of shit, because Chibs has here got to tell you about real life, not the, what's the word I'm looking for? The privileged world that you live in, okay? And then they get attacked by a bunch of werewolfy type of things. Woo, wee, woo. Wee, woo. Doctor Who is fucking shit. Woo, wee, woo. Woo, wee, woo, woo, woo. It's shit. So the TARDIS lands. There you go. The scissors have finally fell on the floor. There we go. The TARDIS lands. And she's like, "Oh, did you land where I told you to land?" She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "In the time that I told you to land?" "Yeah." "In the place that I told you to land?" "Yeah." And that was that joke. And so she's like, "Yeah, come back, meet tomorrow, lunchtime. Yaz, why didn't you do your fucking job for a change?" "Nah, I'm going to go home and eat." "Okay, you lazy cow." So the Doctor's like, "Ooh, what was that?" And there's a man on the TARDIS, and then she doesn't see him. I mean, everything just goes to shit. Everything sort of like goes pow, patum, petite. But actually, it has nothing really to do with anything, which is nice. And so they all go away, and I don't know if these are sisters or lovers. I really don't know. It's Doctor Who. I ain't got a clue. Let's just say they're incestuous sister lovers that are lesbians. There you go. That'll probably solve a few issues in Doctor Who. And she's like, oh, I'm cooking. And she's like, oh, gives a hug. Where are the parents? I don't know. They got eaten by a dog. I don't know. Fucking this show. I zone out a lot. And this guy opens the door and he's just like, hey, I should talk about things. And he's just like, let me in. He's like, I can't let you in. He's like, why? And he's like, I got chips. He's like, I can't let you in. He says, I got chips. Okay, I'll let you in then. I have no idea what that was about. But apparently they're friends. And so the Doctor goes to Syria, 1380, because of the Kapoopy Kabooby. And then she meets up with the Wammans. And she's just like, oh, are you a Wammans? She's just like, yeah, I'm a Wammans. And she's like, okay, well, you're fine. And then the creature's still there, and then the creature vanishes. That's the end of that scene. Graham says, holy shit, I am very scared that I don't have enough diversity friends to call upon. And then he looks and he says, oh my God, I've got a black guy and a midget. So that's fine. I've managed to sort out my diversity quota for this episode. And then that scene finishes. And that guy's like, am I a midget? I am small, but am I really a midget? And I say, yes. Then this, fuck this guy. So he's talk, talk. I don't even know what they're talking about. I spent a lot of this time zoning out because it's shit. It's really boring. Everyone talks really boringly. Nobody has any emotion. Nobody has any acting skill. And the music is non-existent to some fucking drone. Like... And I bet everyone kisses the fucking composer's ass and goes, oh my God, dude. That's like, less is like more when it comes to you, you know? I mean, you could put some music here to try and give some sort of idea about the mood, how we're meant to be feeling or emoting. But you, oh no, you just play that haunting one key. And he says, actually, I fell asleep and my nose hit the fucking keyboard. And they're just like, oh, genius. So they're talking about some shit. I don't know. Fuck cares. And let's move on. So this guy sticks a finger in this guy's ear. Fine. Cool. And then she's just like, oh, woman from Syria who really has no purpose in this episode whatsoever. Are you still here? And she's like, yep. And you've got mental health problems. Yep. Okay, come fly in my time machine. I'm going to take you into the future. I don't think a lot of therapists would have actually agreed with that. But, okay. So this is a great scene. So the Doctor takes the Syrian woman. I can't remember what she's called. She's called something like Darjeeling tea or something. So she takes Darjeeling tea, right, here, into the... TARDIS. She then goes back to Earth to pick up I would call them companions, but she doesn't care about them. She doesn't care later. She goes back to Earth and picks up her diversity hires, and then they come into the TARDIS. Nobody says a word. They all come into the TARDIS. They come up to this platform here that, like, they're playing fucking what's it called? Going for Gold. And then they that's from my old posse out there, yeah, boy. They all sit down, right? And she stares at them. Then the Doctor says, oh, by the way, Darjeeling tea, this is diversity hire 1, 2, and 3. That must have been really awkward, you know? Because normally when I come through a door and I see somebody I don't know, if I'm going into the door of a friend's house, let's say, and I see somebody I don't know and I go, oh, hi. Hi there, mate. I'm Az. I don't just, like, wait, come in, don't say anything, sit down, and then wait for my mate to come in and go, oh, by the way, Derek, this is Az. And then I can go, I was waiting. Fucking hell. What is your... Oh, my God, maybe it would have triggered a mental health issues. Okay, so let's move on, shall we? She plugs Graham into a machine, telepathic machine, and that takes him to the next plot point. And so, there are two planets that are trying to collide, but they're being held back by something. And I was like, oh my God, they've actually gone off Earth. But don't worry, they're just on like a little space platform, monitoring station platform, and then they go back to Earth later. So, whoo! We almost had an adventure in space for a second there. Wouldn't want that to happen in Doctor fucking Who! Right, and then they discover that there's a Whammons. The Whammons is stuck, and then they're just like, we need to save the Whammons because she's a Whammon and she's also black, so that means double Whammons. That is double Whammons to the power of Whammons. And so, because the Doctor does cosplay Doctor, cosplay Doctor. Because she doesn't care about any of her companions, she lets Darjeeling Tea walk off. And then Darjeeling Tea comes across all the people that the man's been fingering. And then the other companions go in search of Darjeeling Tea, and then they all get captured by the fingerer, and he fingers them all, and so they have more dreams. He fingers them, and then they have dreams, and then he sucks their dreams, the nightmares, into the fingers, and then he feeds it to the woman, who is trapped between the two planets trying to collide against each other. It's a love story. And then Yaz is just like, oh my god, can I see my acting ability in the distance there? No, it's non-existent. And so we get some very boring stuff happening, and I really think I'm going to fall asleep at this time. I'm actually zoned out right now, and I'm thinking about big bouncing boobs. Or something, just anything, really. Actually, I was thinking, I've got a few dishes left in the sink. I should probably go down and do them, really. But, oh god, okay, Doctor Who's still on, apparently, he hasn't finished. Oh, then he says, oh, you thought you were saving the Whammons because she was a Whammons and black, but really, she's not a nice Whammons, but you just judged her by colour and gender, because that's all you do. But she's actually a naughty, poopy panty, but my friend. But then he says, not only is she my friend, though, I'm way inferior than her. I just live in her shadow. I just live in her slipstream because I'm a pig. I'm a man. I'm white and I'm disgusting. And Doctor's like, yeah. And then they say, hey, Doctor, we're just going to explain everything to you for no reason whatsoever, just so the people at home can get a full understanding of the story, because we are too thick to do it in a clever way. And by the way, every single solitary person that they show in the diagram is a Whammons. Just saying. Doctor woke! Hey! Doctor woke! Doctor woke! Hey! The TARDIS! Okay, sorry, don't know where that came from. Just cropped into my head. And then he's just like, here's Black Daenerys, and Black Daenerys is just like, I'm going to try and talk deliberately like Daenerys does in Game of Thrones. So she went, awesome, I'm not the only cosplayer. You're cosplaying Daenerys and I'm cosplaying the Doctor. Great. And so they go to a terraced street. Instead of going to like somewhere cool, like taking them to the London Eye or taking them to the Empire State or taking them to the rooftop of the Willis Building or something like that, so they can get a good panoramic shot of a city and then they can suck all the nightmares in. No, they go to a terraced street in Compton. It's a thing. And then there's like, we need to finger more people. Oh, this is where the Doctor's tied up, and she's like, hey, if I bang my sonic screwdriver against here in my coat, it's going to miraculously jump up into my hand. And it does, because fuck gravity and fuck this show. Also, that, like I said, all she does, all episode, just wiggle my wiggly thing. MacGuffin. So they go back to Earth and they're just like, hey, you're poopy pants. And the reason why the Syrian woman is actually here is because the creature couldn't attack her because she thought up these creatures. So now we're going to lock you away back in the prison again for eternity, and you can have constant nightmares for the rest of your life. Well, for eternity. Now we're going to talk about mental health for 10 minutes. Mental health, hey. Mental health, hey. This scene made me have mental health issues. It was so boring. Fuck me. I don't even know what it was about. It's just Yaz complaining about. Here, have 50p. She gives her 50p at the end. I don't know, maybe for electric meter. And then Graham's just like, oh, can we go somewhere? And then the doctor's just like, oh, I should say something, shouldn't I? But, you know, I don't give a fuck about my companions, so I'm just going to pretend to play on the console and say, I'll say something nice later when I think about it. And he's like, oh, Doctor, you're so funny! Oh, and then next week on the BBC, another programme. Oh, yeah, and then when the show finished, it's like, hey, this subtle message about mental health, this very subtle message for the last 40 minutes we've been ham-fisting into you. Hey, talk to somebody. Mental health, okay? It's a thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, but mental health is a thing. Yeah, mental health is a thing. It is a thing, right? It is a thing. And it's another thing for Doctor Who to fucking harp on about. Because she can't just be entertaining, or it can't be done in something else. No. This week we're going to talk to you about... No, sorry. This week we're going to lecture you about mental health is... Last week we're going to lecture you about environmental issues. Week before we're going to lecture about global warming is. Then we're going to just say white people are horrible for the rest of the series. Like I said, there was an interesting idea when it came to the gods, inverted commas, feeding off the nightmares, and unfortunately the show was just let down by a ghastly music score, a non-existent music score, unbelievably poor writing, unbelievably poor acting. These companions have got to go. This Doctor has got to go. Or, because Jodie signed for another season and she isn't going to go, this Doctor needs a singular companion, and it needs to be somebody that she's got some fucking chemistry with. Because they are dragging the show... Well, they're all dragging the show down, to be honest with you. Oh, fuck it. This show sucks. It did. It sucks. Bye. Bye.